and welcome to Fun Swedish. Have you ever taken the Stockholm metro and wondered what the different stations mean? Today we will be taking a trip to my favorite metro stations, the ones that have the funny names. And we will talk about them and learn some Swedish on the way. Stockholm has 3 metro lines: Gröna linjen, Röda linjen och Blåa linjen. So let's jump on a train and go on a metro tour. Första stationen.
Nästa, Gamla Stan.
Literally the old town, because Gamla means old and Stan means town. The old town. Some of our students, they ask us, why is this called Gamla Stan and not Gammal Stan, since Gammal also means old? This is a brilliant question, and it has to do with it being a definitive noun, the old town. But then the adjective Gammal is also a little bit irregular, which also makes it a bit more complicated. But if you want to know all about adjectives and how to use them in Swedish, then you can learn all about it in our video courses. The beginner level 2 video course includes about 1 hour of explanations on how to use the adjectives in Swedish. You can check it out on our website. The link is in the description below and also up here. Okay, back to the video. Gamla Stan is of course the oldest part of Stockholm. Here you can find houses from the 14th century. And the oldest one, Storkyrkan, is from 1306. Very, very old. Gamla Stan can be a little bit tourist trappy, so be careful and watch out for overpriced restaurants. But we really recommend you to have a walk around in the old valleys of Gamla Stan to get a sense of how old Sweden was. Gamla Stan is also the place where you find the most souvenirs. Tacky souvenirs, but perhaps fun ones, such as Viking hats with horns, moose-shaped candle holders, or just a t-shirt where it says I love Swedish girls. So now that you have seen this part of town, let's move on and go to another station on the green line, direction south, mot söder.
Nästa, Medborgarplatsen.
The citizen place, also known as the party station. Here you go if you want to experience the Stockholm nightlife, or just any kind of social activities, because the place is full of restaurants, shops and coffee places. But it's also a historic place. Here Swedes have gathered for years to organize protests and demonstrations. Hence its name, Medborgarplatsen, the citizens' place. Here it's important to remember the pronunciation of medborgar. Remember, in Swedish, when we have the combination RG, then we pronounce it a little bit like the English Y. So it should sound like borg and not borg. Remember that. But for more information, check out the video we made about how you pronounce the letter R in Swedish. A very important thing to know about this station, Medborgarplatsen, is that it has a very famous nickname. Most Stockholmers, just call it Medis, because it's too long to say Medborgarplatsen all the time. So just say Medis instead. So if your Swedish friends say "Vi ses på Medis", they're referring to this place, Medborgarplatsen. Back to the train.
Nästa, Blowout.
Nothing really special happens on this station. Sorry, Blowout people, but it's just a residential area. But it does have a funny name, and that's why we are here. Blås is how we say blow in Swedish, and ut is how we say out. So the literal translation of this station is blow out. Jag ska till Blowout idag. I'm going to blow out today. I think the history of this place is that it was just a windy place, so that's why it got this name. So, let's go to next station with a funny name.
Nästa, Gubbängen.
Gubbängen. Nothing really happens here either, but it has an interesting name. Gubbängen is also a very residential area, and the name could be translated to the old man field. Gubb comes from the word gubbe, which means old man, and ängen is how we say field. I guess a lot of old men used to live in this area, but this station's name always makes me smile. Anyways, on the red line, you will find its match. If Gubbängen is the yin, then this is the yang.
Nästa, Fruängen.
Fruängen, the wife field. Fru means wife and ängen means field, just like the same word we had in gubbängen. Perhaps you went here to find wives, or maybe it was a meeting place for wives to complain about the husbands. I don't know, it's still just a funny name, Fruängen, wife field. But back to the Green Line, we still have some stations to visit. Let's take the Green Line to the other side and jump off at Hötorget.
Nästa, Hötorget.
This place is famous for its food market, both on the torg and also inside Hötorghallen. Here you can find traditional Swedish food, but also food from other countries. But why the name Hötorget? Well, back in the old days, someone else also got their food here. Who? The horses. How can we know this? Just look at the name. Hö is a Swedish word for hay, and torg is how we say square. So basically, Hötorget is the hay square. They say that this was the place where the Swedes left their horses so they can eat all the hay they wanted, while the Swedes went into the city partying and drinking a lot of öl. So, let's continue this trip. But in order to do that, it's time for biljettkontroll. Do you have a ticket on you? Well, the ticket is to put a like on this video and to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, so that you can continue the trip with us learning Swedish every week. Tack så mycket. Vi fortsätter. So now we have arrived to our next station, Rohanskatam.
Nästa, Rådmansgatan.
Here you can find a lot of offices, schools, bars and shops. You're also very close to Stadsbiblioteket, the biggest library in Stockholm. And the name of this station is an interesting one. Råd can be translated to court or advice. But together with the word rådman, it kind of means counselor. Because on this station lived a very important counselor back in the old days. His name was Nils Nilsson. Yes, I'm not kidding, that was his name. And he was a very important rådman, so that's why this station and this street here got this name, Rådmansgatan. A lot of people mix up råd with röd. Röd means red, so it's very easy to think that this street is called Red Man Street. But no, it is the Counselor Street. But enough about the Green Line. Now it's time to change Metro Line. Now let's take the Blue Line instead. We are going to Kungstra Gordon.
Nästa, Kungstra Gordon.
Kungstra Gordon is also a very historic place. The name Kungstra Gordon can be translated two ways, either to the king's tree garden or the king's yard, which is also what you will find here, the royal yard, because it's in front of the royal castle, where the king used to live before. Kungstra Gordon is a beautiful place, and also a place where a lot of events take place. For example, free concerts, cherry blossoms, and much more. So it's a place I really recommend you to go to because there's always something going on there. Let's continue our tour on the Blue Line. Blåa linjen is the newest line and also the most beautiful one, because it's actually famous for its art exhibitions and murals on every station. We will talk more about this in another video in the future, but we really recommend you to go there if you're interested in art. And like all stations in Stockholm, there's a story behind their names. Like on our next station.
Nästa, Näckrosen.
The Naked Rose. A very sexy name for a station. Näck is an older word to say nude in Swedish, and this name is referring to a male water spirit who played enchanted songs on the violin. Naked, with the purpose of luring women and children to drown in the lakes and in the streams. Maybe they put this name to warn us that Näcken, the name of this spirit, was living here, and that we should watch out for him. It feels a bit scary to live in Näckrosen. Another station close by is the station Hallomberian.
Nästa, Hallomberian.
I put this station on the list because it doesn't feel scary to live here. Hallon is how we say raspberry, and bergen, mountain. So the translation of this station could be Raspberry Mountain, Hallomberian. I guess the Swedes wanted to inform us that this was the best place to go and pick raspberries. Maybe I should move to Hallomberian, because I want to live in a place where there's a lot of food, especially raspberries. A place on the metro line where I don't want to live at all is in Svead.
Nästa, Svedmyra.
This means sting ant. This is on the green line. Who wants to live in a place with sting ants? Nej tack. So let's avoid this place and go to our final line instead, the red line. Like I mentioned before, Fruängen is on the red line, the wife field. But Fruängen is also this thing, and slutstation. I know that this sounds hilarious in English, but in Swedish, slutstation is how we say the final station, the end station, the place where everything ends. Another slutstation on the red line is Roststern, the shouting stone.
Nästa, Roststern.
Here you will find the biggest port in Stockholm, because Roststern is a port. And the rumors say that there was a big stone there, and sten. And standing on that stone, people would shout to call for the boat that would take them to Lidingö, the islands on the other side of Roststern. And this kind of shouting is called ropa in Swedish. So that's how Roststern, the shouting stone, got its name. So, we have arrived to slutet av resan, the end of the trip. Hope you liked it, and don't forget to put a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. And write us in the comment section below if there's any other name in Swedish that you want to know what it means. Hej då!